With a legal career and having been practicing law for over 3 decades, his reputation as a restructuring expert for high-profile bankruptcy cases earned him the title of the turnaround titan. He handled the liquidation of Enron's operations and successfully put billions of dollars back into the hands of investors. And a few years later, in 2003, he was called back to fight a civil lawsuit against Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, and other banks accused of manipulating Enron's finances. This action resulted in another billions of dollars being distributed to creditors.
I've done probably a dozen large, scale bankruptcies over my career, including Enron, of course.
John Ray was born and raised in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. He graduated from the University of Massachusetts in 1980 with a political science major. While at the university, John also served as an intern in the office of Democratic Senator Ted Kennedy. Afterward, he pursued a law degree at Drake University. John then began his career at an accounting firm before moving on to the global law firm Mayer Brown in 1984. He then had a short stint in the waste management business. John Ray's career in corporate bankruptcy began at Fruit of the Loom, a well-known clothing manufacturer. John was appointed as the company's general counsel in 1998. A year later, however, the company declared bankruptcy. As the officially appointed Chief Administrative Officer, John Ray's journey began. To manage the company's excess debt, he halted payments to vendors, took legal action against the company's former CEO, and managed the sale of assets to Warren Buffett's investment firm Berkshire Hathaway Corp. In 2002. He seemed to have enjoyed the role because after successfully leading the insolvency proceedings for Fruit of the Loom, John Ray started his firm, Avidity Partners LLC, specializing in large corporate bankruptcies. Other than the Enron case that he is well known for, he has led the proceedings for multiple corporations, most notably Nortel, a Canadian tech firm, overseas shipholding, and residential capital. Let's take a look at some of his biggest case. The Enron scandal was one of the most significant corporate scandals in American history. For 6 years, until 2001, Forbes named the energy trading firm America's most innovative company, dubbed the Wall Street Darling. Enron was propelled even further by the 1990s bull market. The firm's leadership used fake holdings and off-the-book accounting practices to fool regulators, eventually leading to its downfall. The company disintegrated almost overnight, sending shockwaves throughout the industry. In December 2001, the company became Enron Creditors Recovery Corp. After initiating insolvency proceedings. From 2004 to 2009, John Ray served as CEO of the Texas-based energy company, acting as a representative for Enron during the company's bankruptcy proceedings. Enron's bankruptcy was very complex, involving the sale of numerous assets, energy contracts, and business units to pay creditors and stakeholders who had suffered heavy losses due to Enron's collapse. John Ray and his legal team worked to recover assets for Enron's creditors. He recovered $3.5 billion from 11 of Enron's financial advisors, and Citigroup Incorporated, the remaining bank defendant, agreed to pay $1.7 billion. Under the settlement, Citi also agreed to drop its claims against Enron, which could have been worth as much as $2 billion. It's rare to have success stories in a bankruptcy. Ray's role in managing Enron's bankruptcy proceedings significantly contributed to ongoing discussions about the need for transparency and accountability in the corporate world. Therefore, he also took legal action against the banks he deemed partially culpable for the company's devastating downfall. He successfully reached agreements with all of them, resulting in the recovery of approximately $22 billion in total. As a result, Enron creditors received more than 50 cents on the dollar instead of the expected 20 cents. In the following years, he recovered over $20 billion more. Sam Bankman-Fried founded FTX in 2019, and it quickly established itself as a prominent crypto derivatives exchange. FTX secured $25 billion in funding through Singaporean investment firm Temasek in October 2021, and by January 2022, the FTX Group was valued at $32 billion, while FTX America stood at $8 billion. In October 2022, global interest rates surged, kickstarting the U.S. banking crisis, the effect of which cut across all industries, including crypto. By November 2022, the exchange completely unraveled and turned out to be one of the biggest crypto scams in the industry. On November 11, 2020, FTX took to Twitter to announce SBF's resignation and subsequently John Ray's appointment as CEO. One of the first things John Ray did at FTX was to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. He said it was an important step for developing plans to restructure the crypto exchange. Ray then appointed the renowned firm Sullivan & Cromwell as restructuring advisors. Finally, he announced that Alvarez & Marsal, another top law firm, would take an advisory role in the bankruptcy proceedings. John Ray tore into SBF and how he managed FTX, which was once the second largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. In his bankruptcy filing, John Ray says he has never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information. He also questioned the accuracy of FTX balance sheets, saying that he did not have confidence in the accuracy of the balance sheets for FTX and its sister company Alameda Research, saying that they were unaudited and produced while the debtors were controlled by Sam Bankman-Fried. Ray excoriated Bankman-Fried and his management team for what were described as lackadaisical controls on systems and regulatory compliance. He said the concentration of control in the hands of a very small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals was unprecedented. Ray said a substantial portion of assets held with FTX may be missing or stolen, following widespread reports on social media of the theft of hundreds of millions in cryptocurrencies. Some of Ray's findings earlier in the bankruptcy proceedings revealed that Alameda Research, FTX's hedge fund, gave Bankman-Fried a $1 billion personal loan. Though FTX and Alameda were meant to be separate entities, they operated as one company. There were also virtually no internal controls or board meetings at any of FTX's entities. Moreover, some customer funds were deposited directly into bank accounts at Alameda Research as opposed to FTX accounts. Alarmingly, Ray wrote that part of his remit would be to implement controls and basic corporate standards such as accounting, audit, cash management, cybersecurity, human resources, risk management, data protection, and other systems that did not exist or did not exist to an appropriate degree prior to his appointment. Bankman-Fried and FTX management practices included the use of an unsecured group email account as the root user to access confidential private keys and critically sensitive data for the FTX group companies around the world, the absence of daily reconciliation of positions on the blockchain, the use of software to conceal the misuse of customer funds.
We're not going to be able to recover all the losses here, right? Money was spent that we'll never get back. There will be losses on the international side. We're hopeful on the U.S. side. He'll answer to others related to what happened here. Our job is just to, find the assets and try to get customers their money back as quickly as possible.
Ray's appointment as the new CEO of FTX gives creditors hope that they will recover at least some of the money they lost as a result of the fraudulent activities that led to FTX's collapse. He is arguably one of the best people for the job, given his track record of managing large corporate bankruptcies.